Hello everyone. Last time we had discussion on two different topologies of multi-level inverter. In that multi-level inverter, we have learned the diode clamp multi-level inverter, the flying capacitor multi-level inverter, along with its circuit diagram. That is the mathematical formulation uh, to have a switches or diodes or capacitors into the circuit. That also we have discussed. And what is the corresponding output waveform, how we get the output waveform, and what is the significance of getting that stepped waveform at the output side, that also we had discussed. So today here we are going to see the third type of multi-level inverter, which is a cascaded multi-level inverter. Okay, or it can also be called as a cascaded edge bridge type inverter. Okay, so this topology is very simpler, okay, and very widely used because constructionally it is very easy to construct, and it is very easy to analyze also. Okay, so here we'll see how these cascaded H-bridge type inverters are constructed and how it works. Okay, so here you can see uh, now on the screen you can see the three-phase five-level inverter. So I have directly taken here uh, the inverter. But if you see in this inverter, okay, uh, the name itself is a cascaded edge bridge type inverter. Okay, cascaded edge bridge type inverter. So here you can see here you have the bridges are connected in the combination. Okay, so that we can get a three-phase output waveform at the load side. Okay, so here out of these bridges, so you can, if you count the bridges here, okay, so bridge means what we already know it. Okay, so here we have the switches in this way. Okay, so here the MOSFETs or IGBTs are shown here. So I represent this as a switch. Okay, and here we have the DC input. Okay, so as it is our inverter circuit, so obviously input will be a DC. Okay, and here we get the output. Okay, where we can connect a load here. Okay, so here this one uh, circuit is referred here as a bridge. Okay, sorry, not here connection. Here we are connecting in this way. Okay, here. Okay, so here it will be a load connection. Okay, so you forget about this. So here if you see this one element, or I just mark here. Okay, this, if you observe this one, this is called as a one element, or it can also be called as a one cell. Okay, so here we have one DC input, we have four switches. Okay, and across that we can connect a load. So here this one cell is referred as a bridge. Okay, and these bridges we are connecting in a cascaded manner to get the output waveform. That is the reason it is referred as a cascaded H bridge type inverter. Okay, so here also we have the mathematical formulation for this. So like we learned the mathematical formulation to form a diode clamp or to form a flying capacitor multi-level inverter. Similarly, we also have mathematical formulation to form the cascaded H bridge type inverter. Okay, so here if you see, here we have this bridge which I told you it is called as a one cell. Okay, so this cell is nothing but a basic building block of the cascaded edge bridge inverter. It is also called as a cell, or it can also be called as a module. Okay, so this cascaded edge bridge has many cells connected in series. Okay, like if you see here, the two cells are connected in series. Okay, so here it is a connection. Okay, and you can see here the output is taken. So if you see, it founds the series connection. Okay, and here there is output taken, so two cells are connected here in series. So here if you observe this single cell, Okay, so now will be only limited to that single cell. Okay, so here we have VDC input. Okay, and we are concerned about only this. Okay, so what are the different levels that we can get here? Okay, one is VDC. Okay, when we on this SA2 star and this SA1 star, okay, diagonal elements or the switches, we get VDC. When we turn on this SA1 and SA2, we'll get a minus VDC across the load. Okay, and if we turn on the single switches in one leg, then we get a zero output. It means here we are getting three outputs. One is VDC. Okay, one is VDC. Okay, then second is minus VDC. Minus VDC we can get, or we can also get a zero here. Okay, so this is the way we can get the output here. Okay, so this is about the single element. So if we connect the two elements into a series, okay, so if you see what are the different possible combinations of the output here. So if you see that VDC, this VDC, so here we get a two VDC, okay, at the end of this load. Then we can also get a VDC, we can also get a zero, we can also get minus VDC, we can also get minus 2 VDC. So total five different combinations we get that the output. Okay, it may, or we can say the total five levels of the output we are getting at the end. So what is that five level? Plus VDC, plus 2 VDC, VDC 0, minus VDC and minus 2 VDC. Okay, so to get these output voltages, we have multiple combinations of the switches which we are taking into the circuits, and we are getting the output at the load side. Okay, so to get a 2 VDC, this combination is taken here. So you can see that SA1, SA2, SA3 and SA4. Once we turn on all these switches, we get the 2 VDC at across this load. Okay, when we turn on the switches, or when we supply the fire pulse to the SA2 switch, SA3, SA4, SA1 star. Okay, so like you can trace this here. Okay, so we get a VDC output at the end of this load. When we turn on this SA3, SA4, SA1 star, SA2 star, we get a zero. Okay, and similarly, like we get the two VDC and VDC, we can also get minus VDC and minus 2 VDC. So in this way we get the output. So here, so if you count 2 VDC, that is 1, VDC is 2, 0, it is 3, minus VDC 4, and minus 2 VDC, it is 5. So total we get a 5 levels of output when we connect the two bridges in a cascaded manner, or cascaded means it is a series. Okay, so when we connect the two cells into a series, we get the 5 level output. Okay, so there is one generalized formula for this. So as we increase the number of cells into the circuits, okay, you will get the output for 2n minus 1. Sorry, 2n plus 1. The formula is 2n plus 1. 2n plus 1. Okay, so right now if we verify for this, we have two cells for the single phase. Okay, so 2, if you put that n is equals to 2 here, 2 into 2, 4 plus 1, so we get the 5 levels of output. So here we have 5 levels of output. So the switching combination or the table is referred here. In here you can observe the 5 levels of output. Okay, so same levels of output we get for this second phase and third phase. Okay, obviously with the phase difference of 120 degree, and we get a balanced output at the end of this load. So that is how this cascaded edge bridge inverter works. Okay, so if we want, if or suppose if you increase the one more cell or one more module into series of these two bridges, okay, or if you add one more cell or module in series of this, so what is the level of output you will get at the output? So 3 into, sorry, 2 into n is 3. Why? Because we are including 3 modules or cells, or we are connecting 3 cells in a cascaded manner. So that is the reason n is equals to 3. So 3 into 2 plus 1. So 6 plus 1, 7. So we get a 7 levels of output at the end of this load. Okay, so like this cascaded edge bridge inverter works. Okay, so here you can also observe the switching combinations, and once you trace this into the circuitry, you will definitely get the outputs like this: 2 VDC, VDC 0, minus VDC, and minus 2 VDC. Okay, so this switching combination we can also change as per our convenience. Okay, provided we have to take care of these levels which we are getting at this output, okay, or at the load end. Then here, as I told you here, if you increase one more cell, okay, so you get this 7 level output. And what is the 7 levels? So you can see, so there would be a one combination where there can be addition of this VDC plus this VDC, second cell VDC, and this third VDC. So we get VDC plus VDC plus VDC, we get a 3 VDC. Okay, there would be also a combination where we get these two cells into a series, then we get two VDC, and last we can also get the combination where only we get a VDC at the output. So similarly for the negative half we get minus VDC, minus 2 VDC, minus 3 VDC. Okay, so if you count the output voltages levels of the output, so you'll get here 7. Okay, so similarly we get here the 7 level output in cascaded edge bridge inverter. Okay, so it is very simple as compared to this diode clamp and the flying capacitor. Okay, only here the difference is here that, okay, in diode clamp and in flying capacitor we were using a single source at the input side, but here we are referring the multiple sources at the input side. Okay, why? Because bridges are different, so to drive that bridge we have to provide a different input source there. Okay, so this VDC is for first bridge or module. This VDC is for second bridge or module, and this VDC is for third bridge or this module. So accordingly, we have to take this. So sometimes the charged capacitors can also be used instead of these sources. Okay, this charged capacitor will act as a source. So this can also be used at the input of this cascaded edge bridge inverter. So as you go on adding the multiple cells into a series with each other, will get the multiple output levels at the load side with the formula of 2n plus 1. Okay, so this is about this cascaded edge bridge. So here if you see this diagram, the one more cell is added here. So if you see, if you count the number of modules or number of cells, so if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4 modules. So 4 modules means 2n plus 1. So n is for 4. So 2 into 4, 8 plus 1 means you will get the 9 levels of output. Okay, and this is the nature of the output which you will get. Okay, 9 levels. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is 9. So in this way, you will get 9 levels of output. Okay, so how this uh, pulses are produced? What is the different combination? So you can see this. So as I told you, instead of this DC voltage source, the capacitors can also be used as a source at the input side. So here you can see the C1, C2, C3, C4 are referred here at the input side. So if we assume VDC will be the full load voltage or the full input voltage for every bridge. And what is the maximum voltage we can get at this load side, that is A with respect to N. So you can see this is connected in series, or this can also be called as a cascaded connection. So VDC, VDC, VDC plus this VDC and this C3, this is VDC and VDC. So we get a 4 VDC, maximum 4 VDC at the output side. Okay, so we have to go into the descending order. After 4 VDC, we'll get 3 VDC, then we get 2 VDC, then we get only VDC, then we get 0. Okay, and after 0, again we go with minus VDC, minus 2 VDC, minus 3 VDC, and minus 4 VDC. Okay, provided we have to take, or we have to turn on the switches in such a way that in such a way that we get these levels at the output side. Okay, and these pulses are produced in this way. So you can see this. So if you compile this VC1, VC3, VC3 and VC4, you will get this type of a waveform at the output side. Okay, this is about the 9-level cascaded bridge inverter. Okay, so after this, if you see, the last point of this is application of multi-level inverter. Okay, so nowadays if we see, these inverters, multi-level inverters are used widely in industry applications. Okay, so generally, why these are used? Because it can be constructed for the high frequency and high switching. Okay, and it can also be used for high voltage and high current applications. Okay, so we can construct these inverters for any frequency. Okay, so here there is one application. It is used into the DC to DC converter circuits. Okay, so in DC to DC converter circuit, so here we have this our inverter circuit where the DC input is given, then the DC is converted into the AC. Okay, through transformer again, that AC is given to this rectifier and again it is converted into DC. Okay, so there can be some specific applications in the industry. Okay, where sometimes it is necessary to use these circuits. So instead of using the conventional inverters, uh, the multi-level inverters are referred here. Why? Because as I told you, it can be designed for any frequency, and they are used in high frequency and high current and high voltage applications. Okay, so this is the one application. Then next is in the AC drives. Okay, in multi-level inverters, any topology can be a diode clamp, it can be a flying capacitor or cascaded bridge. Any of these can be included into the AC drives. Okay, it can be a regenerative, it can be a non-regenerative AC drives. We can incorporate any topology here for the controlling of this, or to drive this AC motor into the AC drives. Okay, so here based on the input connection, uh, it can be a star connected, it can be a delta connected. So based on this, the input is connected here, and this AC drive is driven on it. Okay, so here if you see, here there is a different topology that is used. Okay, uh, in cascaded again there are multiple types. Okay, so we have learned only the simple bridge type. Okay, there is again transformer with transformer, without transformer. Okay, so here we have referred only the bridge type of the cascaded inverter. Okay, so here there is a different type of the inverter, or the inverter is incorporated for the AC drives. Okay, so here if you see the cascaded H bridge, the conventional which we have learned right now, that is incorporated here to drive this AC drive. Okay, so it can also be used like it is used in the non-regenerative AC drives. It can also be used in the regenerative AC drives. Okay, so after this, the most important or the famous application of this multi-level inverter is for the reactive power compensation. Okay, so you can see these capacitors are connected at the load end. Okay, so that reactive power can be compensated. So when there is no need of reactive power into the system, this converter, okay, here the word referred here as a multi-level converter. So converter can be a rectifier and inverter. Okay, it means this converter acts bidirectionally. When there is a no need of reactive power, it will fetch the power from this grid, okay, and it will charge the capacitors. When there is a necessity to inject the reactive power into the system, in that case, that DC will be fed to that multi-level converter. Then the DC will be converted to AC, and that will be injected into this grid. Okay, and in this way, the reactive power is compensated into this grid. Okay, and accordingly the load is given. So this is the application, okay, of the multi-level. It can also be used there. So based on this the phasor diagram is given here. Okay, so if you refer this first phasor diagram, so here you can see that IC is the vertical component and Vs is here is the horizontal component. So here if you see that IC current is leading than this input voltage source, it means it is a leading means it is a capacitive in nature. Capacitive in nature means they're injecting the reactive power into the system. Okay. If you see this second phasor diagram where you will find that IC is lagging than this supply voltage source Vs, it means it is inductive in nature. So inductive nature means there is a they are withdrawing the power from the grid and they are charging this capacitors. Okay, so that is how that compensation can be done by using the multi-level converters into the grid applications. Okay, then back-to-back inertia drive or inertia time. So, so if you see this circuit diagram, there are two multi-level converters are used. Okay, so the converter which is referred on to this left-hand side will act as a rectifier. Okay, and the converter which is referred on this right-hand side acts as an inverter. Okay, in between the DC capacitors are connected. Okay, so these two converters are linked through these DC capacitors. Okay, and here if you see the load is connected on this right side. Okay, so how this functions. Okay, so if you see from this source, this AC will be converted through this multi-level converter. Okay, so even though we have learned the inverter, multi-level inverter, these there are also the multi-level converters. Okay, so converter means like inverter, there is also multi-level rectifier. So okay, so rectifier operation can be done by using this. So this AC is converted into DC. So by using that DC at this left hand side output of this rectifier, these capacitors are charged, and by using these capacitors, okay, these capacitors will now act as a source, and that source will feed as the input to this right hand side of this multi-level converter, and by using this DC capacitors, the input is given to this multi-level converters. Okay, and then the DC is converted into AC using this inverter operation, and then it is fed to this load side. Okay, so that is how again any topology can be incorporated here for this back-to-back time. So in this slide, if you see the diode clamp multi-level inverter is incorporated here for the back-to-back inertia tie application. Okay, so these are the different applications of um, the multi-level converters, okay, which are used. So again, if you observe these phasor diagrams, so load can be anything at the load side. It can be a inductive load, it can be a resistive load, it can be a capacitive load. Based on this, phasor diagrams will change. So if you see this first phasor diagram, where you will find that source current leads, then this source voltage Vs. So the nature would be a capacitive in nature. Okay. So in that case, that phasor diagram will be drawn here.
If you observe the second phasor diagram, the source current and this voltage Vs are in phase. It means the nature of the load or the type of the load, the resistive is there. So in that case, this type of phasor diagram we can get. To observe this third phasor diagram, that Is is lagging and this Vs is leading. It means voltage leads and this current lags. It means it is a inductive in nature. Okay, and for this inductive nature, we get this type of phasor diagram. So according to the type of the load changes at the load side, we'll get this phasor diagram. Okay, or we can draw this phasor diagram. Okay. So this is how the multi-level converters can be used in into the different applications. Okay, there can be we can also compare this multi-level inverters. Okay, so how we compare this? We can compare this based on the construction. Okay, how the uh, diode clamp multi-level inverter is constructed, how the flying capacitor is constructed, and how the cascaded bridge is constructed. We can also compare this based on the mathematical formulas for having the number of switches into the circuitry, for having the number of diodes into the circuitry, for having the number of capacitors into the circuitry. Okay, and we can also compare it based on the complexity and the simplicity of the circuitry. Okay, we can also compare the based on uh, we can also compare it based on the purity of having output at this end of this inverter. Okay, so whatever is the waveform or whatever is the AC waveform we are getting at the end of this inverter. Okay, obviously there would be a difference. Okay, so the AC which we are getting in the diode clamp, maybe a smoother AC we can get into the flying capacitor. Okay, maybe the smoother AC can also we get at the end of this cascade inverter. Ultimately, our in inverter our aim is to get a pure AC waveform at this end of this inverter. Okay, so in diode clamp it can be a more pulsating AC. In flying capacitor it can be less as compared to the diode clamp, but more as compared to the cascaded H bridge. Okay, and cascaded edge pitch it can be uh, the most pure as compared to this diode clamp and this flying capacitor inverter. Okay, so that is how we can compare it based on the physical construction, based on the mathematical formulations, and based on the nature of the output, based on the simplicity and complexity of this circuitry. Okay, so that is how uh, we can compare the multi-level inverters. Okay, so in that topic, this multi-level inverter chapter is finished here. Okay, so here we have learned the different topologies. We have also learned the different control techniques. Okay, that PWM techniques we have learned. We have also learned the different applications, okay, in which applications they are used and how it is used. Okay, and from this we can conclude here. Okay, this because of the fine nature of the output at the end of this inverter. These inverters are mostly preferred for the medium and high voltage applications. Okay, into the industry, that is in drives, in this STATCOM, into the reactive power compensation, back-to-back inertia, and also for the power factor correction. Okay. So application range is very wide. We have included only few applications to understand how to know where the multi-level inverters are used. Okay, so this is about this topic, multi-level inverters. So we have finished this topic here. Okay, so if you have any query, okay, you just can post there or you can ask me anytime. Okay, so thank you.